their impression of 9-14. We'll begin with DAMWON Gaming against SANDBOX. It's first versus second. DAMWON Gaming wins any victory here, and they leapfrog.
Already get a feel for which team is favored coming into this matchup.
And it was in the featured matchup that we got quite the reckoning from Nuguri against Summit. Remember, it was Nuguri who locked you're on all fours on the desk.
I feel like I'm melting. And
the air conditioning's working, Valdez. It's fine in here.
I feel like I am slowly. Okay, this would be nice.
Yeah.
Now, don't bait us. That would be very mean.
I mean, it actually fits the comp.
And it's pretty strong on 914.
Yeah.
You see it all the
Let's
time.
do it.
Especially on solo queue. And there you go. Okay, finally, Kled is going to be locked in once again here.
We're all rushing in, and Sona's hoping that there's enough threat in front of her that they can't turn onto her with that fast movement speed. Laning phase can be tricky, but we've seen one Kled survive the onslaught of Karma poke damage in the early game. After the latest buff, Summit has that super grievous wounds that's very important against the tether heal that can be so frustrating on an all-in attempt. Onto that Karma. We never say no when it comes to Kled, and throwing in that charge and potentially Sylas pilfering away some more gap close. Fun ending to the draft. Does mean, though, when you look at priorities, DAMWON Gaming have a lot of lanes that canyon from level 2 can snowball pretty damn hard, and SANDBOX are waiting for that mid-game moment for them to flick the switch and really turn on and get aggressive.
We're going to look on to DAMWON Gaming's composition. We've been seeing a lot of Corki, but also a lot of Corki Ezreal if you can get it together. The poke going to be fantastic. You line that up with Nuguri's Karma for a bit of extra poke. You got some engage and disengage with Jarvan and Braum. And then the late game is going to be really nice with big shields, plus the 280 carries.
Sona comp is a team fight comp. This is going to be a lot about timings, because when Sona's ready to go, if the poke comes super far ahead, well, you don't want to engage from behind, or you get poked to death. Sona can't heal through when we're talking about 2-item Sona, but if the game goes long enough, there can potentially be inroads. If they get some snowball, then SANDBOX Gaming could come in big, but you can close this game easy if you get your lanes going, and Canyon has been in wonderful form on the Prince Jarvan the 4th.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch, guys, so we're going to jump into game number 1, first versus second. Let's do it. We're getting into game number 1 here. We were thinking we might see some new and exciting stuff.
We were told.
Yeah.
Nuclear's on the naughty list now.
I know.
He's getting a lump of coal for Christmas.
He's like, you know, it's exciting. The 150th game of Ezreal. Bet you weren't expecting this pick.
So if we wanted one expression to really make a metaphor of the DAMWON Gaming comp, it'd be me taking these papers and then blowing the papers in the air like they're cash dollar, because it's triple kleptomancy on the side of DAMWON Gaming. They're looking to cheat the gold code. Maybe we're going to have a kind of race to 10,000 gold record here for DAMWON Gaming. So if they get some kills and they start getting their gold on, you haven't seen much more than triple klepto.
I don't even think we've seen this before. I mean, this is very uncommon, but when you have Corki and Ezreal and Karma all come together on the same team, I suppose it's not too surprising, you could say, as Ghost also has a Kleptomancy to make it 4 in total for the game, which is definitely big heights here on the LCK. We're just farming. That's what we're known for.
Good news, we have 5 utility tree on the left side of the screen. On the right side of the screen, we've been held in check, just 3 utility trees.
Ugh.
So poor effort there. Where was the utility tree from OnFleek and Summit? I'm sure it's balanced. Klepto seems really balanced, so we're fine. We can't talk about Jad anymore. He's back to casting.
Yeah,
Valdez.
I know.
Oh. Who is now our face? We have like a faceless balance person rather than having the Jad face on it.
We've kind of lost that guy that we could easily blame or just make fun of at the same time. As I'm a fan of players who don't use the item of the gold just to show us how many they've gotten so far. Nice follow-up here by Dove as
that wasn't as good.
Really trading it there, but now everybody's low.
Utility tree for both. There's some biscuits. You know what? They'll be fine, Valdez. Don't worry. No one's going to die.
ShowMaker's chugging everything here after taking a sizable trade, but as you mentioned, nobody should be dying as he's just hovering over Klepto, just showing the amount. 190 was the top side, I believe, for Karma.
How are we doing for gold here? 700 gold lead so far with the double Klepto advantage on the blue side. OnFleek's top lane and Nuguri, bless his heart, is very overextended.
Alright, he's going to be really fast. OnFleek, no boots here. Trying to get that tether down. The Hail of Blades. Oh, it's going to lock him up. He can't get the knockup, but the flash on in will be able to force that kill. It was nicely played until it wasn't, as OnFleek is able to shut him down for first blood.
Everyone was sure on their cooldowns. SANDBOX Gaming perfectly on point there, and the bear trap on a rope. Gets the root, gets the tug back, and into the death chamber goes Nuguri. Doesn't go on to Kled, but Zhao getting going is something that can go to other lanes. And the fun thing about the jungle matchup is we looked on paper and said, ooh, a lot of priority for DAMWON Gaming. Jarvan can really wreck people. The all-in is not going to kill Ghost. Worth noting that the only person that Jarvan doesn't want to see is the Zhao, because skirmishing-wise, you don't want to deal with a Hail of Blades Xin. So Xin getting the work done, Xin setting the tone, might actually allow for the comfortable scaling that SANDBOX Gaming would much prefer.
It's kind of a cool idea. And OnFleek, of course, is no stranger to the pick, as we're going to take a little look at the replay here.
You're going to watch the replay. It's all about your cooldowns in this play. OnFleek doesn't use his E, you'll notice, before the play starts, and that means that he has the Audacious Charge to pick up the kill. So really nicely done on both sides. Kill picked up, but OnFleek will be clearing this camp on a ward. That might actually give Jarvan the drop on a lane, but where are we going right now is for Canyon to decide.
Canyon here. It's like perhaps there was communication that he dropped this control ward, so good job on that one, just to make sure they can clear out that vision. As another one actually is going to be placed there by OnFleek out of vision, so nice little mind games.
I want you to work with me here, Valdez. DAMWON Gaming are clearly a very good team, and I think it's fair to say they've leveled it up a lot since spring, but they're not the finished article. I don't think any team in the LCK is World Finals, World Champion ready right now. As Nuguri, he's going to be dead.
Well, yeah, he's dead. He doesn't have a flash this time around, just wandering into the river, runs into a very scary man with long hair and a big spear, and goes down immediately.
Yep, that was not who we wanted to see. And the point I was going to get to was, you know, where is DAMWON Gaming weak? Where can DAMWON Gaming get better? What might be the weakness of DAMWON Gaming? And my opinion on that is their jungler Canyon. And that's probably unpopular right now because Canyon's been in great form in bot lane. This is going to be devoured and spit out again. But I believe that Canyon's mechanics are fantastic. I believe when Canyon has a winning lane and has a predictable place to play around the jungle, say, for example, an overextending Jace, or farming before his Vladimir gets strong, and then playing around the Vladimir at level 7 or 9, I think that Canyon's pathing can be quite good. But I actually believe that Canyon struggles to be on the right side of the map when his lanes aren't winning. And with top side getting ganked a couple of times, and bot lane just pushing up, mid lane providing no damage, as Dove here could chase on.
Coming on out,
one
the
more.
Big one nearly takes him out there on the backside. Dove with the nice outplay in the mid lane. ShowMaker thinking he was going to go back, had one charge on the potion, and now he'll go back.
But I think that Canyon largely follows play rather than starts play, that he follows a winning lane rather than creates one. And it's games like this where he can put that analysis to bed and find a way to get some and manufacture some leads. Because for now, Sylas has found a steady spot. Kled is doing way better than expected. And bot lane may be pushing, but to really make the bot lane sweat, what we really like to see with these Braum lanes is a turret dive. Put that ward behind, TP down Nuguri next time TP is up, or just look for a dive with a roam from mid lane. Otherwise, we're farming out very comfortably, Valdez.
I think it's definitely a good point. I mean, when people were watching Canyon, when it was all about DAMWON versus Griffin, and DAMWON never beating Griffin, and Tarzan just essentially showing the young kid how it was done in the jungle. There were a lot of moments where Canyon didn't exactly have many highlights in those games, so you can easily point the fingers at him. I still think that they're a very young squad that, you know, they don't, I'm not even really sure where a lot of that shot calling is coming from.
We know it's not coming from Canyon. If you ever watch the listen-ins, he's not
absolutely.
talking. He's the youngest player on the team, still 17. And it's very hard for a young player, especially in a hierarchical society like Korea. Abscond, abduct there, and a lot of trade damage on ShowMaker, starting to vindicate this early rotation on the Sylas. But I think back to Cuz, who was a Royal Roader on Longzhu around a lot of veterans, and whenever I would talk to Gorilla in confidence, he'd always say, I love Cuz. He's got great mechanics, really nice guy, great attitude. Not a great initiator yet in his career because he finds it a bit scary to choose your moments to go in. And I think Cuz now is great at that. Think of his Gragas and his play, but at this age, around players who are more recognized and largely more old than you, it can be hard to choose an initiation because it's a pretty big, obvious fail state if you get it wrong.
Yeah, and Canyon does have his highlights, right? The last time we saw him on the Jarvan, as you were mentioning, a couple of moments up on the top side when the Vladimir was winning, and all that good stuff, and some of the sick engages he had in that game really just show you what this guy is capable of. But as you mentioned, if they want to get to a point where we can even consider them for World Finals or something like that, there still does require a bit more work to be done. As OnFleek, they're going to run into each other. The package is available for ShowMaker.
Don't win that 1v1 against Warrior Zhao, but he's going to have to back away.
Forces the smite away here, but OnFleek's got another one. They're really fighting for this one. They're going to leash it. And okay, it's going to get leashed here. Canyon is going to go in by himself, but there's no follow-up from the side of ShowMaker and Nuguri. Nuguri flashes over, but Kled's already leashed on top of him. And this Karma is 100% dead. ShowMaker just running around in the jungle, not sure where to go, as 2 more kills are going to go the way of SANDBOX.
And SANDBOX making all the right moves and getting gold with that scaling, Valdez. Things are getting really scary here, and even though we like DAMWON Gaming with gold, they can do some nice things in the mid game from behind. They don't have the same side lane pressure that a Jace would provide in particular. Guarantees over their scaling are also very middling, and in moments like this, we end up getting a full-on fight that wasn't really necessary as we watched on. They can see Dove the entire time.
Canyon just goes in there. He's like, I'll get the steal for us, boys. I'll get it. He goes in and he dies 1v3. Nuguri and ShowMaker, they can't really do anything at this point outside of a simple shield from Nuguri, and it just baits Nuguri in. A very unfortunate stance and fight.
This is Ghost watching on as this play happens on top.
This is it. This is the way it's supposed to go. Ghost from the bottom side, feeling good as he's just farming it out.
He's playing Sona, so he has a lot of time to move his screen to other areas while he randomly queues. He's going to start last hitting now, so these things get a little bit more normal. They didn't catch when he got the transformation on his Spell Thieves. OnFleek around the Kled lane has got enough priority to pick up Rift Herald, and it feels like that DAMWON Gaming are in a bit of a daze. Bad news is, if they stay in this daze for another 10 minutes, probably not going to like the results of allowing DAMWON Gaming, allowing themselves to pick up quite a lot of gold in the early game.
Yeah, and OnFleek is doing a fantastic job of just trying to push this game really fast and get every objective he can and all the kills on that early game jungler of the Zhao. He's going to give Kled, of all people, 2 more plates, and maybe even more here, as Nuguri can't get close without his flash.
He is Sad Raccoon with no TP to join bot side and no chance in hell of contesting a Kled and a Zhao. So, yeah, that's a lot of gold that goes on to mostly the Kled, some of it shared. First turret goes to the team with Kled into Karma.
Joker's like, no, buddy, this is our jungle. In fact, it's my jungle. I'm going to take the Gromp here as we're not stopping.
Nope. This game has been exactly about what SANDBOX wanted to do, and now they might just kill
OnFleek and Summon are like, what are you doing? You can't sit under the turret. We're just going to kill you. Take a look at how fast Nuguri dies here as OnFleek does take a lot of damage. Dove now 1-on-2 is going to be going down nice. Follow-up gank, but as you mentioned, it was the interruption on the teleport that he was going for, so it was not a death in vain.
Abducted to death. That's a bit morbid. That's what happened there to Dove as he got ulted under turret, but it gets an inner turret, and now this Kled is oh so fed. This is the Kled that played against a guy who never played against Kled before, wins in a bad matchup, and shows up with a lot of items. They're not done just yet, but they're on the horizon, Valdez. That is a lot of items on Kled for 13 minutes.
I'll tell you, since 9:14, I've been playing a bunch of solo queue, and this looks very similar. What you just mentioned is very similar to pretty much every game that Kled doesn't get banned, because
you know how it
he's
goes,
back
right?
in a big way, Papa.
You get autofilled to top lane, you're against Kled, and you're like, oh, he doesn't have much of a health bar, he lost his mount, he seems killable, and then you die once, and then you just can't get back in lane. It's kind of what happened here in a roundabout way for Nuguri. TP coming in from Corki, and there would have been at least one answering kill there, probably with a flash follow over the wall. Here is Dove. He makes the play.
The hero.
Canyon's mid lane, which, you know, it does pay off with a kill, but I'm unsure what. I guess he was going to pick up a minion wave rather than responding to top, so it almost feels like Canyon was in the wrong spot, but paid it off with a kill. It works out, so the rose-tinted glasses can be there. Dove gives up his life for it, didn't have a flash to get out.
And now, Nuguri, he was forced into Karma duty. They told him this would be great for the comp. You can survive, you'll be fine.
He's not going to listen next time.
And you bet your life, as he's probably going to die for the 5th time in this game. Summit just going in there, lands another bear trap on a rope. Nuguri does not get much healing from that tether either, and this is going to take quite a while. A Summit is going to get that attack speed buff and shoot him in the butt, as he will pick up that 5th kill onto Karma.
Yep, this is going to be everyone else's problem. It's still currently only the Karma's problem, but you know who gets to transfer leads? Ultimates that can initiate, really allow you to transfer leads. So, unfortunately, the further solo kill goes on to the armor-stacking Karma. Black Cleaver done, that problem gets bigger. So much of that 800 gold was on the Kled. I would wager at least 520 or so of that gold, 540 or so, is onto the Kled. The Karma and Tahm, sorry, the Sona and Tahm Kench have farmed up very competitively against Ezreal Braum. That's the quirk of the matchup. Braum can't apply enough pressure unless the jungler joins. Unfortunately, Canyon has been a bit of a herbivore this game, and the result is that it's a 3,300 gold lead to the team with a double Klepto disadvantage and has a lot of mid-game scaling.
Yeah, and we saw the replay of Ghost's reaction to the first kill up on the top side. That's probably going to be the reaction to a lot of people here in this game that might just be riding the bus from the top side of the map, getting so many wins and objectives and kills and all that good stuff for the side of SANDBOX. We'll see if they can close this one out with their monstrous lead and a monstrous Kled already.
And actually, a lot of people will look at the 0-5-0, and it's a lot of deaths on a pro player, right, at 15 minutes. We've seen it from Nuguri in professional play before in the Kesper Cup. The question you should raise in your head is there a better thing for armor stacking, building for lane, not building utility, Karma to do than actually waste all the time of Kled? The answer might be no. ShowMaker roams to bot side. Wasting the time on a 0-5-0 Karma stops the Kled from transferring his lead, and Karma, yes, has base utility, but doesn't have a lot of ability to influence team fights right now. So there's an argument that running at Kled and doing your best to not die might be Nuguri's best choice. The zombie push, as we might put it.
And, I mean, that's exactly what he's doing. There's so much action in the top lane because Nuguri just refuses to back off, which, as you mentioned, could be a good thing here. Let's see what SANDBOX can do outside of just the winning Kled lane, who every time we look up there, it looks like he's getting close to another kill, but this time around, you can see Nuguri's done a good job of poking him down, getting a bunch of those Klepto stacks, trying to do his best from really far behind.
He still has turret damage with the Iceborne Gauntlet procs, right? So he's still someone that Summit can't leave alone unless they're really filling a dive. But he's also someone that Summit can kill.
Okay, able to pop him off a Skarl here. That Summit doesn't really seem to care. As that Kled's angry, he's getting in there. A couple more autos, and he lands it. The tether's down, and Nuguri should be going down here once again. Yep, takes a little bit of time.
Oh, he follows it too beautifully done on the end there.
He's really just not messing around. Picks up 176 gold. It's not that big cash that you usually get, but it's enough for Summit, rather. He's feeling really good in the top lane.
And what about the catharsis? It must be so good to be Summit right now, because literally he's against the guy who's praised as a great top laner, who picked Klepto Camille into your Renekton and made you look silly on a matchup that people would never dare do that. We saw So1 try and fail miserably with the same matchup, and now you're making him look like he's inting in the top lane with 6 deaths already, all of which were at least partly from your hand.
Yeah, I mean, you're making him look that way, and I'd argue that he kind of is going that direction. But now that he's 0-6, at least he's giving less gold. But this means that Summit, after that kill and the push all the way to the inhibitor turret, he says, okay, it's time for me to leave lane. I have basically 2 completed items here at 18.5 minutes. I have a gigantic health bar, essentially. I can engage from anywhere on the map. And all these mountains and objectives should be ours.
Yep, I see the Kled, I run away. I don't care what champion I'm playing. I'm like, nope, not worth it. Kled is still really underexplored as a champion because he's always been a sometimes food. I guess Doinby's probably played the most competitive games of Kled, and he's actually played kind of less Kled games than people remember. He's probably played like 9 to 15 in his career. He hasn't played like 20 plus Kled games by any means. Cuvé's played a bit of him, Rascal in Korea, Khan. There isn't that many Kled players. Summit wants to be a Kled player. A lot of people aspiring to be a Kled player on patch 9.14 in particular. But we didn't see any of it yesterday. Comes out today, and you know what? If it gets a good start, we know that it'll stick the landing.
Yeah, and keep in mind that this was the 5th pick on the red side. So DAMWON should have known that this was definitely a possibility, but they seem confident either way to bring in the blind pick Karma as an answer. But the combination of the Kled and the Zhao and just that early gank snowballed into more. It just meant that it was a little bit too much for Nuguri to shoulder.
Canyon. Get out of there. Don't go top lane.
Canyon's not even thinking about that.
We call that a double kill.
Maybe I can steal this red and hopefully not die, as maybe even looking for more as he's heading mid.
Summit has TP, was pulling back from the lane for now, but doesn't find any inroads here. Sylas mid lane with TP. A lot of map rotations can happen here from SANDBOX.
It really has been just the Kled hype train, essentially, in this one, alongside of OnFleek. A lot of the other lanes haven't seen nearly as much action.
Did you ever play Super Ghouls and Goblins on the Super Nintendo?
No.
It's a really hardcore platformer, but the Kled would really kind of fit with the aesthetic going on there. So the game was famous for, you had this like knight with a beard, but like when you took damage, you'd lose your suit of armor and stuff like that. And that's what I really remember with the animations and the kind of mounting and dismounting that Kled goes on. It really does remind me. The skin he has, the base skin he has, I believe is a direct reference to that game as well. I forget the skin name that it came with on release, but always thinking of that. It's just a champion that we don't see a lot, so you don't think of, oh, how obnoxious is it that he can remount, and you kind of focus on how hype he is, because he's so different as a champion.
Yeah, it definitely can be an annoying mechanic, especially when you're behind, but it's very satisfying for the Kled player. So fun to play, and now he's super strong, and no doubt we're going to be seeing him more often here on 9.14. He really has been the talk of the town so far in this game. But we'll have to wait and see how this game does settle. You mentioned how the mid-game scaling is going to be pretty good here for SANDBOX, but we've seen Corki and Ezreal do some fun stuff as the game goes along. We'll see what they can do here from behind.
It's hard. You know, there's a real chance that no champion matters in this game, except for Kled, unless Kled goes on one of those merry races he can't cancel, right? Those can happen. You can have the full wacky races thing, and he can be Dick Dastardly, to make another reference that might go over your head, and just not be able to pull something off. We're watching for now, and always keep your eye on where Kled might be. He's on a flank, but not really the greatest path for an ult here.
He'll just dash away. He's level 14, so he's the highest level alongside of ShowMaker in this game, and actually does in the mid lane, so not an incredibly large gap in the levels, at least.
It's going to be 3-lane push with Kled this big. Not too worried. Karma for now, trying to match the Sylas a lot more comfortable. for the Karma. If you notice, SANDBOX has some deep vision. They have some obvious gank paths for Kled, but everyone's positioning, and you want BeryL around where this control ward is to not allow Kled to naturally path into getting onto one of your priority characters.
We're just farming it out here in the mid lane, just trying to get whatever vision they can. It really just has been 2 minutes of vision fighting, essentially, and a bit of poking from the Ezreal, trying to deny as much as possible. SANDBOX was able to pick up that one mountain, so you do have to be a bit careful about what they can do around the Baron.
And we're finally seeing these high damage, high utility, high range especially comps like DAMWON's. What it looks like from behind is mid lane, Ghost.
Oh, where's the Devourer? It looks like he's gonna use it very late in the piece here, but has to flash alongside a Ghost. The Summit awkwardly just moving into the mid lane with the TP. DAMWON grouping up as 5. A lot of low members as Dove trying to get something going here, but nothing's going for them as Joker's gonna get knocked up now, as Canyon's gonna start off this fight in a big way. Everybody else is gonna be able to get away, but DAMWON strikes back.
DAMWON get their moment where they actually make SANDBOX less than the sum of their gold and their opportunities, and DAMWON say, let's YOLO on this Baron. You guys better respond fast, otherwise we could steal a victory just like SKT.
They do it so fast with their comp in the one mountain. OnFleek can't get even a second close here, as now he's got to run away. But he went a little bit too close to the sun, as down he will go as well. That's going to be another kill on top of the Baron, and this game is totally turned around.
And damn, how impressive is it that DAMWON Gaming, it looks bad with a 0-6-0 Karma, but Karma did the right thing. Keep the Kled away from the rest of the team, waste time, try not to die, and then they chose their moments. They didn't tilt like they have so many times 6 months ago when they were a new squad. They waited, they waited, they waited. SANDBOX makes some mistakes, and DAMWON Gaming emerged with an Infernal and Baron out of literally nowhere. They were staring on the chasm, they get some damage onto Ghost, and then when do you use Devour is an imprecise science. They use it late, Joker flashes away, Kled tries to come in, didn't want to use his teleport defensively, had to give up the turret at SANDBOX Gaming, you say. But Dove walks up, Joker walks up with nothing, which is just a straight up mistake from Joker. He dies, and that's so much shutdown onto DAMWON Gaming, because it's never going to be just a kill when you have all that damage.
네, 허르키 존버 타이밍.
아, 우리
불륜까지 먹자,
야,
불륜까지.
허르키야, 허르키.
야, 밀어.
Talking about the Corki timing there. And, well, the Corki timing came through in a way. That's a big leap now towards his Infinity Edge next. On top of that Infernal, that's just going to add a ton of stats at this point in the game. And now, we talked all about the Kled. It may no longer be his story. He's level 16, though. But a lot of other Fed members are on the side of DAMWON as well.
To give you guys my impressions of scaling, because I feel like scaling has been so hard to talk about recently because we have 6-item 80 carries being played and 2 rollers with high utility top lane. I believe that DAMWON Gaming with kind of a 4-item Corki, even though Sona, great scaling, even though Kled has initiation, I feel like there is some great late game opportunities, 6 items for DAMWON Gaming. This is where SANDBOX will probably have been relatively the strongest, and if they take free damage, doesn't matter.
OnFleek trying to go on the flank, but he immediately has to back away. As you can see, in-win Summit on the charge as well, but
they're out of position.
These flanks are just all over the place, but the DPS of DAMWON is also out of position here. Not able to get on top of Canyon and his engage. This fight is all over the place now. ShowMaker, really nice Valkyrie to get away from Dove, and now they're just fighting front to back. Nuclear going 1v3 on the back line too. Should be able to do this on the Ezreal, and all of a sudden,
DAMWON
like
gonna win.
DAMWON are gonna win in the span of 5 minutes.
It's so quick, it's so assertive, it changes in 4 minutes, but they take their opportunities. SANDBOX Gaming make mistakes. The Baron opened up a vulnerability where DAMWON Gaming could push, and push they do.
DAMWON, they found the one vulnerability, and they were able to get on top of it as ShowMaker's unbelievably fed. We're not going to get to see any more of this Corki because the game is over. They're going to go for the kill even, and they will capitalize as GG, the Nexus will fall down with DAMWON.
15 minutes time.
We'll get another replay of the last fight. It really was kind of all over the place.
Look at what
Everybody's
happens here.
going for the flank.
Because Zhao goes for the flank, realizes the wrong time, and then you have to use Kled, otherwise Zhao is going to die for free. And guess what? The teleport can't be cancelled. It's a tale of woe. It's the sort of thing you read about in mythology, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of things to happen at once, but everything went wrong for the team of SANDBOX, and this was after they'd already given away a free Baron. Can't make two big mistakes like that at 26 minutes.
Yeah, and at this point you can see just how little the Kled was able to do. The team wasn't really able to get on the same page with him as the damage numbers.
Who was 060? Could you confirm?
That would be the Karma up in the top lane.
Oh.
That
이거 다이브각 가도 된다.
야 갈게. 야 뚫어 뭐야?
여기 막아봐 여기 캔치 있거든.
야 캐야 진짜 여기.
최대한 포킹하자.
포킹해 최대한 포킹. 콜키가 거기 막혀주고. 야 진짜
진짜 줄게.
야 진짜 피었어. 아 진짜
아까야 클레드 안돼 클레드.
야 진짜 야 사일러스 뒤에 사일러스. 뒤에 보자. 야 사일 볼게. 야 앞으로. 야 앞으로 가자. 앞으로. 야 끊어. 괜찮게. 야 진짜
진짜 막아줄게.
천천히. 야 다음 거.
사일러스. 야 방패. 그래 우리 코르키 대체 코르키.
아
끝내.
아니 나 안 죽어. 왜 와?
영육육.
승리. 야
영영이 뭐야?
야, 근데 압박한다니까 바로 죽네.
오케이 이겼.
아 역시 라면은 너구리보다 진라면이지.
아니 뭐해? 설마.
야, 근데 내가 닭골 간 줄 알고 바로 압박했거든? 근데 바로 죽었어.
나 무빙한 척 연기했었네. 나 죽일래? 아 죽여. 아 들어갈게. 죽여.
나이스.
이거 우리 실드 많아서 한타 우리가 잘만 하면서 사거리 싸움하면 우리가 이기거든? 얘들아 알지? 저조합 상대로도 물론 한타가 별로기 때문에 우리는 계속 사이드 도는 거야.
네. 야, 뭐,
요새
보자. 봐봐. 나이스.
나이스.
노틸 로플. 우리 너무 급하게 안 해도 될 듯. 우리 시작 6렙부터. 야, 나왔어. 아래로 떨어, 아래로.
방치돼 있어 얘들아.
캔 들어왔고.
AD. 부실 없어.
야,
야 리진 너굴.
죽여.
야 리진 구 없어.
아, 뭐야 이거?
빼. 캐는 높을.
아들 피었어. 안 좋아. 아들 피었어.
야 치고 되냐 이거?
나 가볼게.
죽여.
미드 잡히면
자연
편하거든? 탑라인 투패가 리드할 수 있게 도와주고 아지를 받아먹을 때 미드 쪽에서 쌈 보자 오케이?
이거 나도 올라갈 때.
오케이.
야 세줘.
야 세즈. 아 못 뺏었다.
괜찮아.
잘. 아야 너무 빨리 들어가는 거 안 좋겠다. 다음 보여.
야, 좋다.
아 이거 야
앞에 거. 여기.
아 제발.
야 캐넨이 나한테 날라왔어.
살려줘. 우리 한타는 나쁘지 않은데.
나 피가 나오면 내가 다
한타를 안 해줄 거야. 어떻게 할지 계속 얘기해. 오케이.
야, 이거 우리 한타 하는 조합 아니고 사이드 도는 조합이야.
자야질 되겠어 얘들아. 한 번에 썰리면 우리 다 죽는 조합이야.
아 믿고 나 이거 자리 좋은데. 해봐.
이렇게.
나 바텀 미는 중.
살살. 안 되겠는데?
야 자야. 안 된다 이거.
나 뺄게.
지나가.
잘 잡았어.
야
하이 잡아요.
하이.
뒤에 캐는.
야 캠 끝났다 이거 캠 끝났다. 야 미드. 야 천천히 게임 끝났어 이거.
야 천천히 진정하고 천천히.
막기만 해 게임 끝났어.
제발.
야 이거 그냥
막은 아 못 막았어.
야 위에 거부터 위에 거.
위에 거.
조심.
내손 빠졌다. 야 라인. 뭐야 이거?
해봐.
캐랭 해봐.
야 뭐?
어쩌는데 나.
왜 앞에 나나? 아야 누구 놓고? 나이스 뭐야? 됐다. 기현 진짜 사랑해.
근데 얘들아 이성적으로 생각 이성적으로. 야 안 될 것 같은데? 너무 멀어. 야 억제기 깨라 억제기.
나 봐줘 나.
잘 봐.
야 캐넨. 걔네 잡았어.
야 특패. 야 일단 두 장로 먹고 온다 얘네.
야 여기서 싸움 해야 된다 이거.
야 내 더블 포킹 기다려봐. 나 더블로 진짜 세.
다야가 안
야 이거 업체기 다. 와.
다야가 안 보면 계속 해줘.
야 아지를 나 진짜 한 대 때리면 얘 피 이렇게 깎였어 방금. 야 피 없어.
tok 레드 나오고.
야 피 20. 야 잡았어.
나이스.
기다려.
야 천천히 포킹.
야 포킹.
야 절대 들어가지 마.
야 거의 다 끝났다. 이니셜 거.
저 웨이브 박으면 돼. 웨이브 박으면서 포킹.
공 박았어. 자야 공 빠질 거야. 오케이. 자야 녹음.
야 넥서스 쳐볼게.
넥서스 천천히. 세트 녹음.
넥서스 치는 중. 야 볼가.
자야.
야 끝났다.
자야.
나이스.
야 잡았어.
나이스!
어디서 망했더라 이거?